as you know, Jason, video is now probably the most effective way to reach people, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this show live to Facebook, for the exposure, the audience. It's where people, Facebook's where people hang out most of the time. So the question I have for you is, how are you using video in your business to help you accelerate your authority, or what plans do you have for video in your business?
Yeah, so even when I did the podcast, I knew how powerful video is going to be in that process. So, I made sure to do a video podcast, and I record those, edit those, and post those onto YouTube, not only for the search engine aspect, right? Google loves YouTube connections and that kind of thing, but, video was the thing that was going to allow people to see who I was, right? To see how I move, how I interact, what my facial expressions are, all the little things that we pick up on, these visual cues that we use in everyday life, they can come through in video, right? It's really hard because you can't get those through just a microphone. So, I wanted to show that, partially because I'm pretty comfortable on camera, and I want people to hopefully see my authenticity and my desire and passion to help and share. So, I wanted to share that video with the podcast audience. The other thing that I'm using right now is I'm actually filming a documentary, or a docu-series. And video is easily the most effective way to reach people, and it's not going to change anytime soon. It's what we're getting used to. All the kids are, coming up with this stuff. I mean, the thing is, you and I, John, we didn't have this. I mean, this is all learning as it comes. Yeah. These kids are growing up with this. I can't even imagine how skillful and tactful you'd be if you grew up with this type of media at your fingertips all day long. But video is so powerful for so many reasons. And, if you're not comfortable on camera, or you're not comfortable, interviewing people on camera, whatever it is, either get over it or find somebody that you can step in for you and take that role, because using video is easily the most effective way you're going to be able to communicate with people. So, the documentary that we're working on right now is the message I want to share with that is about longevity, anti-aging, and why there are certain people that live to 110 and beyond, and why people are thriving in their 90s, and and you look at some of us and we're getting old at 50 and 60, and we're getting these age-related diseases early on in life. And so I've got a decent understanding of, I think, why that is, and I've called a lot of research into that, and it was just such a big message that it needed to be a documentary in order to tell that story. And so we're going to be traveling around the world to various hot spots of the world that have a lot of these longer living populations. Yeah. But we wanted to show that, right? That story has kind of already been told to a certain degree. It was Dan Buettner read a book called The Blue Zones and these type of things. His analysis wasn't that good, to be honest. It's actually quite poor. Not that it's wrong, but it just doesn't tell you anything. But at the same time, it was in a book. And what I wanted to do was tell that story better from a health practitioner's perspective, to understand the physiology so that we can extrapolate that and apply it to our everyday lives and everything in our lives. But I also wanted to show how these people are living in these other countries and these other places that include a lot of these longevity, these people that are living a long time. So, the docu-series is, I think, the best way to do that. And these days, filming a documentary is not hard. It's actually quite easy, right? It's scary if you've never done it. You don't know the slightest thing about which camera, which mics, all the technical stuff that goes along with it. But at the end of the day, you're just walking around with a camera and you're shooting the story. And so, if you're somebody that has a story to tell, all you need to do is find somebody that can help you tell that story, understands the technical aspects, and you can put that together. I mean, whereas it may have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars not too long ago, now can be done at a fraction of that cost. And not only that, you have the distribution channels available to you. So you can use the internet by itself. You can use, Hulu and Netflix and some of these other things that are looking for independent films and documentaries and TV shows and all these things to buy. I think they outspend the traditional media, Fox and some of the other, MGM and these type of things. So this is a new paradigm, and we have the ability to put things in. We're going to take over, right? I mean, that's what YouTube is. That's what Facebook Live is doing. It's all working to take over the traditional media.
There's a couple of key points in there that I just want to sort of touch on. One thing is you talked about video is going to take over. It has taken over, which is completely true. And if you don't like being on camera, you truly do have to get over it. It doesn't. You just have to face your fears or the limiting beliefs that you actually have in yourself of, I don't look good on camera. I'm, too not good looking enough, or maybe I'm not skinny enough, or whatever the what ifs are, the things that you keep telling yourself in the head. You just have to throw those out the window, and you just actually have to do it. It's not as hard as people think it is. Once you actually just get over that initial sort of negative thoughts that you keep telling yourself.
Well, and your voice always sounds horrible the first few times you hear it. So that's everybody. I've never met somebody that said, "Oh, I love my voice."
It takes a while to it takes a while to actually feel natural and to actually to get better at it, and then to actually just speak to a camera, to look at a camera and speak to a camera and try to do it that way, versus if Jason and I were actually in the same room having a conversation, it'd be a different thing as I would stare at him. So I want to keep looking down at the screen because that's where Jason is, but I know I need to keep looking at the camera because that's the audience. I have to keep sort of engage with the audience or the people that are watching this. So, but bottom line is you just have to actually just get out there and do it. And another thing is you're going to be the person sort of that interviews all these people in the docu-series. You'll have somebody traveling with you that's running all the equipment, and you're going to be the star, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be the glue is probably the best way to put that. I've got a really good friend who's made documentary films before, knows what he's doing. He's a great storyteller. So, my friend Max Lugavere says, you got to be careful. You never want to make the spinach show, right? So that's, in other words, if the topic is too dry, you got to really mix in some color in there to make it fun so people aren't bored, right? And so we're always cognizant of that, and we're working on that. And he's so good at storytelling that I'm not worried about that at all. It's going to be a great story. So, what we're going to be doing is we have a ton of amazing guests so far. We've already started shooting. We've got some amazing experts that are at the top of their game. Insane researchers. I mean, I'm been pretty lucky so far getting the people that we've had to provide their insights. And so it's pretty much just going to be them, in terms of the interview thing. I probably won't be in there interviewing them directly, but what I'll be doing is tying the film together as we travel around, hopefully explaining some of these things, how they're tying in together. So, I'll be kind of the glue of the film. But it's and I want to touch on the last point that you made in terms of being in front of the camera. It's a lot harder if you're faking it. Yeah. If you're selling something you don't believe in, that you don't know about, that is not your passion or is not authentic, it's always going to be harder. There's some good people that can fake it all day long. All you have to do is turn on the TV. They're professionals at that. But, that's what takes a long time to get good at. It takes a long time to get good at faking something and to making it look natural. The more you can, fall into your natural state and your passion, your knowledge base, the easier it is, right? Because you're just talking to a camera, another person with a camera on. So it's not hard once you just get over the first little baby steps. And if you're speaking from the heart and what it's easy. Yeah.
So just to close up that particular question, one for the audience, for the entrepreneurs, the authors, speakers, experts, business owners, if you aren't doing video right now or some sort of live Facebook Live, then you definitely need to look at getting into it, because you need to go where the people are hanging out, and everyone's hanging out on Facebook. So doing some sort of Facebook Live with some educational content so people actually get to know you, to like you, to trust you, because that's who people want to do business with, is people they know, like, and trust.
Right.
So if you haven't started with video yet, get started, get on the camera, do some Facebook Live. If you have a brick and mortar business or a business that, a traditional business, using that is great. Talking to your customers, live, that sort of thing, or on camera. So one of the things that, Jason, you and I have been taught by the marketing experts as well as our coaches, is to always be adding value in people's lives, which is what we do with these videos or these live shows or your podcast. It's really to add a lot of value to people's lives, create content, and in the essence, really become the expert at like giving away the farm.
Yep.
Just giving stuff away, giving away advice, giving away in mediums like this, our expertise, trying to help people sort of navigate through whatever the water is that they're looking to do. For you, it's people who are struggling with chronic health issues or weight loss or whatever their challenge is. For me, it's for helping entrepreneurs or business people that want to grow their business or get recognized quicker. How do they actually do that? So strategies, tips, advice. So basically giving them the information, doing it in such a way that's genuine, authentic. For the people that are watching, for our guests that are nice enough to join us today, who aren't quite sure what we're talking about when we say give away the farm, just give us your version of what is meant by that when you say, okay, I'm going to give away the farm, when it comes to what it is I do. Because first thing that business people are going to say is, well, why don't I charge for that? No, how am I going to make money if I'm giving it all away?
Right, and that's just it. And the old way of doing business pre-internet was, anything that you're doing, you've essentially got to charge for, right? There's you can only give away so much. You might be able to give away a pen or a pad or all this like ridiculous marketing things, right? But in the day of the internet, you can give away anything. Mostly it's going to be information, right? That's generally what you're going to be giving away. Sometimes it can be great to just give away things, physical goods. I mean, whatever you find works for you. But giving away information, there are so many reasons to do that, right? The old way of selling somebody with a flyer or a commercial or anything like that, people see right through that these days, right? I mean, you don't have the luxury to be able to try to fake that and get away with it. So, screw that. It's a dumb model anyway. It's a manipulative model. The way forward, and this doesn't even apply to business only. This applies to life, right? It's literally giving things away, and it's all about the love, right? And I just want to point out a few good examples of this. If you're familiar with these people, great. If not, go ahead and look them up. One of them is Prince EA. This is a sort of poet, philosopher, kind of call it rap, kind of hip hop type of guy on Facebook, millions of followers and viewers. And he just spreads a message of love. And it's a 2 or 3 minute video that it's of him. And he's pretty poetic. He's pretty intelligent. But he's just giving away his emotion, his thoughts to a camera. And it's garnered him a ton of success. People want to hear more from him, right? You look at Jason Silva, who does Shots of Awe on YouTube. And these are little 1 to 2 minute little kind of philosophical reports, if you will, that are amazing. And he's gotten a lot of success from that. Gary Vaynerchuk, right, who's in the more marketing space, he's out there just talking and posting videos for people. And so, you need to be giving people a taste of what you offer, who you are, and what value you can provide them if they should pay you. So why would I pay anybody if I don't know the value they bring, right? I'm not going to pay Amazon and go through Amazon if I don't know what value they bring. So it's really about demonstrating your value, demonstrating your worth, demonstrating, do you resonate with the person, right? I mean, that's just as big of an important factor as anything else. Do I even like this person? So it's really just about giving as much as you can away so that people can understand who you are. And not only that, it helps show people that you're in it for the long haul, that you're not there just to take from people, right? And you're not there to do business. You're there to give your message and give your gift and just show love. And it's always going to come back to that same thing. The more that you can give, the more that you can present yourself and give away information, the more people are going to say, okay, that's somebody I want to associate with. That's somebody I want to do business with. I am happy to give that person my money. I'm happy to give that person my recommendation. I would happily recommend that person to somebody else. And that's what we need more of, right? We need the good people, the good business people out there demonstrating their value, giving away things so that people can go and share that person's message for them, right? No longer do we need people hitting us with marketing messages and sales messages and commercials. And my God, it's so done, like we just need to get rid of that. And what what's happening, it's going to continue to happen, I think, but we need people to give that away so that people know where to go to find the good people, right?
Yeah.
And instead of buying, search engine optimization and buying, ad pages on Google and on YouTube and all these things, and yes, those are effective and, those can be good too, but the people that are not willing to give away, that's the only strategy they have, is to go buy marketing messages and buy sponsorships.
If you look at someone like Gary Vaynerchuk, who's been doing this successfully for years, he's in sort of the long play, right? It's all about creating content and giving value and educating his audience all along the way about the things that he does and how he's being successful, and just constantly putting his message out there. So the people that he's attracting are the people that already know all about him. They already feel like they actually know him. They like him. They trust him enough to actually to bring him into the boardroom to hire his company to do business with them. So
exactly,
he's basically giving you all the tips, all the strategies, all the techniques of what he's actually doing. He's not holding it back. It doesn't mean that you can't be the person that does it for them,
right?
Or the person that still coaches them. Because just because I tell you, specifically what to do, doesn't mean, one, that you're going to know how to do it, or two, it doesn't that you're actually inclined to doing it. Because a lot of people in this social media age or the digital age are just still not as comfortable or not as confident, or they don't have the training or the education or really understand the strategies of what it actually takes. So yeah, we could tell people to create some content, to do some blogs, but and how to make them efficient and effective, but are they actually going to sort of execute? That's
right.
The biggest thing. Are they going to execute on that stuff?
Exactly. And here's an example I'll give. If I have a recipe for losing weight, right, for weight loss, yes, and I post that recipe to Facebook and I shout it out and I share it and I do everything I can so it reaches as many people as possible. I even promote it through Facebook's, algorithms. The difference between the success rate in that versus the people that hire me to help them with health challenges, or let's say lose weight, it's going to be dramatic. The people that actually are paying me, that are willing to do that I can coach and help them and walk them through some things if they get stuck, or just be there for support, the success rate for those people will be insanely higher than if I post the exact same recipe on Facebook for everybody to see. So, the bottom line is we've got to get out of this fear mentality that, oh my God, if I give it away, who's going to pay me? Where's my money? It's nuts. The universe doesn't work that way. There's way too many examples to give of how it really works. And I'm in the weird energy space. Biophysics and physics and all that stuff is my home. Yeah. So in fact, the Divine Matrix, which I mentioned before, gets into all this type of thing. But I just give. Don't worry about what's going to come back at you. I promise you that if you give with all your heart and you give an authentic and true message, it's going to come back in the most weird, crazy ways that you can't even imagine. People will come out of the woodworks that want your stuff. People will come out of the woodworks to get what you need to give them. So don't worry about it.
A lot of times it's going to eliminate the need for selling, because people have already bought into you.
Exactly.
So it's going to eliminate the need for selling. It's going to eliminate the need for references, or, sort of you get to sidestep all those traditional things that, if you're out chasing business, people want to know, okay, well, who have you helped? What are your references? What's some testimonials? That sort of stuff. Where if you're just giving it all away and you're attracting, you're going to attract the people that are truly committed, and price is not usually the objection.
Well, yeah, and they're a heck of a lot easier to work with. Yes. They're more fun. That you're going to get better results with them. I don't care what industry it is. So you're absolutely right. I mean, I've gone down both roads, and I've done the cold calling style of things in the past, and with a variety of different businesses, and it's painful and it's icky and it doesn't feel good, and you got to suppress all your intuitive emotions, right? Yeah. We intuitively know how icky that feels, and that we're sort of preying upon the weak and trying to force something down the throats of the people that actually resist and stay strong. So we know that, and the only successful people that get through that are the ones that can suppress that intuitive emotion. So That's not the way to go. It's not the people that you want to attract. It's not the life you want to live. I can tell you that. You might have tons of dollars in your bank account, but working with good people and the people that really need your help, that you don't have to convince to work with you. That's what you want. That's the goal, right? That's the dream. I mean, do you think Tony Robbins begs people to come to his show? No, he puts out some blasts and says, hey, I'm going to be here. It's going to be a great event. This is what I offer.
And they sell out
exactly. Every time.
Turning
Why?
people away.
Exactly. Because he provides free content on YouTube in a variety of ways to give you a taste of what he can offer. Yeah. You know, then when you show up, he delivers. Apparently. I've never been, but enough people have, and have said that it's changed their life. And so, you know, that's what it's about. Do your job, do it well, give away more than you're receiving, and you're going to be hit with so many things coming your way. It's not even funny. And that's the way you know that you're in alignment with things, right? Is when you're getting things coming back at you. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're not sure where to go, give. Yeah. Financially, if you're broke, give. You know, I mean, the recipe does not change no matter what we're talking about. And you don't go out there seeking love and thinking, you know, I'm not going to give my love until somebody gives their love to me. I mean, it's not how we work, right? So it's just about giving. It's about spreading your message and being who you are, right? It's about getting in touch with yourself and knowing
expectation of anything in return.
Absolutely. And totally eliminating that. And there's a little bit of fear in doing that, right? It's jumping off a building with no safety net, hoping to God that you got some wings. But I can tell you that you do learn to fly, and there will be plenty of updraft for you, you know, and you just got to trust that's how to move forward, is to give your gift. And as long as you know what your gift is and you're passionate about something, give it away. What else are you going to do?